Hey, what's going on? Josh here, husband, father, veteran, author, business owner. Um, and today's day 12 of our 28-day journey, where I'm highlighting amazing individuals that I'm working with, as well as some incredible projects that I'm working on by myself or with others. Today's a special day because I got one of my closest friends and brother, Anwar Wesley. And one of the things that you all don't know is that I don't say rapper but at the beginning of this, but that's actually something that I used to do.
Scribe.
Yeah, and I actually moved to Atlanta with this man over about maybe 25 years ago to pursue a music career.
Yeah.
And, that's another story for another day.
Swear.
Yeah, but today is special. I got one of my closest friends, and so Anwar, please
Yeah.
tell them who you are, and then we'll talk about some of the things that you got going on.
Anwar Wesley, also known as Coach Juan West.
Yep.
Stringer names, stringer hats. You feel me?
String of talent.
Stringer talent. We do what we do.
Mm-hmm.
But my latest name, I should say, is founder and owner of the Dad app, DAD, doing it all day, which we are here to talk about and how you help me, really, put that thing on the map.
Yeah.
So, father, husband, just lover of life.
Yeah, no, and as he alluded to, one of the things that I was fortunate enough to be able to assist with was to be able to help create the visuals and an app-like experience that individuals were able to look at, interact with. So he was able to start to build momentum that was ultimately able to help create some amazing things that he'll share shortly. Well, one of the things that when we live in a society where seeing is believing, so many people have many ideas. They're always talking about what they're going to do, what's coming down the pike, and so on and so forth. So when people say they're going to be working on something, you're like, yeah, I hear you. But when you're able to show up and say, hey, look, this is what I'm working on. Look at this interaction. Look how sponsors can be placed here. Look at the content and the information that we're providing to individuals. Then people can really see the vision. They can really become a part of that. And it really also goes to what I had shared a few days ago. It might be day 10, day number 9 or 10, when I was talking about building in public. Like the importance of not just waiting until the finished product to be able to share what it is that you have going on, but if you're sharing and bringing people along for the ride and the journey, you're able to get buy-in, you're able to get feedback, you're able to get endorsements, relationships. People start connecting you, like, oh, you're working on that, so on and so forth. So, so our company was fortunate to be able to create the initial mock-ups that was able to emulate the app functionality without it being an actual app. So so tell us about tell us about that.
And so it went from idea to physical form in a matter of months. This is a space I really wasn't familiar with. So for me, I said, man, who's one of the smartest dudes I know? And I was like, oh, bro. And, we talk often, and he tells me about, he shares some of his ideas and some of the things he's doing, which are always like futuristic type stuff. And so I knew I could bring this to you and you give me some good guidance on that. And so sitting on the couch in January, um, I had an idea. You know what I mean? By the end of January, we had some things on paper.
Yes.
I had instructions from Josh Mozo Marketing and how to set up and how to bring to life the Dad app, right? And then it morphed into just being more creative and really just being able to dial up the things that fathers needed. And so it was because of that connection that it just kind of unlocked some things for me to make me understand, because like I said, this really wasn't my space, but it's becoming my space.
Absolutely. Yeah. So please tell us about the Dad app and why it's so important.
So the Dad app, DAD, doing it all day, it's a coaching tool for fathers. You know what I mean? It's the GPS for fatherhood, from diapers to diplomas. It's going to help you along the journey. Now fathers are, you know, on all points of the journey. And so the beautiful thing about the Dad app is you could be 17 and jump in and get the information you need. You could be 22 and jump in and get the information you need. You could be in situations and certain circumstances that you need this information and you could jump in right where you need. And this is one of the things that I needed when I was young. I had my first son, 17 years old. I went from being a high school student, graduate, had a little trouble in between, to a father. And for me, I took that really, really serious. And so I wanted to be the best father I could be. Seeing as though I came from just being a boy and I had to transition into a man and manhood and think like a man because I had a child. On my journey to find that information, I just wasn't connecting with the information that was out there. So the app really started as a magazine, Fatherhood magazine, the magazine for urban, young, expecting and urban fathers, which I was. And then it just kind of morphed along with the technology into programs, physical programs, me coaching the youth, football, basketball, baseball, and even coaching parents, how to be in these certain environments, how to get the best out of their children in the schools, on the field, on the court. And then, as technology has transformed everything, it transformed that idea as well. And so bringing it to you, I was able to kind of put it in a way where now the Dad app Fatherhood magazine accessible to everybody. At once. Right. So absolutely. So that was super dope.
Yeah, no, I mean that's amazing, and there's such a huge need. I mean, just talk about the importance of fatherhood involvement and just the male role influence.
Yeah, man.
For a child.
Fatherhood is the least supported, but it has the most impact when fathers are involved in a child's life. And I'm talking about, graduation rates are higher, death rates are lower, maternity, maternal wellness is higher, maternal mortality is lower, right? Violence is higher without fathers involved and is lower with fathers involved. Graduation rates are higher with fathers involved. It's lower when fathers are. So this just kind of paints a picture of, the reason why we need to really support fathers. We need to support a Dad app because it just looks like and it sounds like, and the reality is, fatherhood is the key.
Yeah.
Right. And so the fact is, there's not a lot of support around that, but we can support each other just like we're doing now.
Yeah, absolutely.
And that's what it's going to take. Right. And so that's really the importance of fatherhood. A lot of my greatest successes were because of the way I thought. Right. I think as a father, I think as a unified person, because if you're a father, right, like I am, I have a brother, I have a family. The goal is to make sure we cover them. That is the role of the father, right, and to influence them in a great way. And so that's why it's just so important.
Yeah, and then and one of the things that people, one of the things I guess is false is that people just learn by osmosis, just by getting older.
Yeah.
And unless there's intentional conversations about how you navigate life, how you interact with others, how do you forgive, how do you rise to the occasion, how when you lose the game, you can still be able to keep your head held high and be resilient. Um, how to be present, how to be fair with your children.
Yeah.
And even though you may be doing something different with them, but it's based upon their personalities.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? So, like, these are skills that must be taught. And, which was also the inspiration for my book, Male by Birth, Man by Choice. So, I mean, of course, so you're talking about fatherhood, creating a Dad app. Of course, I was, felt honored. And it was a no-brainer. I would be a part of something like that because that's something near and true to my heart.
Yeah.
And if you recall, I think it was day number 10 when I interviewed my other business partner Malcolm with the Manhood Maximizer.
Yeah.
So it's all synergistic. You know
absolutely.
what I mean? So, and it's incredibly important. And knowledge is power. Knowledge is something.
It's a separator, bro.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
absolutely.
It separates the people who know from the people who just pretending.
Yeah, and one of the things that I heard actually yesterday on the Karen Hunter show, and I forget who she was interviewing, but she said the person that stated that knowledge manages trauma. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And because when you have a certain level of insight, you're able to look at a situation objectively, and you can realize that you have options.
Yeah.
You're not just stuck to whatever it is that you're being handed. You know what I mean? Like, hey, I could do X, Y, and Z with that. So, no, it's important. So, to tell individuals how they can get involved right now. I know you have a wait list.
Yeah.
So tell us a bit more about
So
that.
if you're a mother, if you're a father, if you have children, if you are the father, if you're a grandparent raising, your grandchildren and they have kids, I'm gonna need y'all to hit that doingitallday.com. Get on the waiting list. This is a list that as soon as the app drops, you won't wait any longer, right? This is going to provide you with the instruction. This is going to provide, women with a solid foundation of some of the things that they need to do for, their children. And for fathers, it provides the playbook. It provides the blueprint.
Absolutely. And I guess one last little curveball is, what's one of the biggest misconceptions that people may have about fatherhood?
Man, fatherhood starts before the baby is born. You know, and furthermore, and this is specifically for our physicians and doctors. When the doctors prioritize fathers in the visits in maternal health, the numbers are extravagantly better. And I'm talking about more positive birth rates, less mortality rates. And so I would just encourage the doctors to include these fathers, to, treat them like your advocate, to, position them as your captain so they can help this process. Fatherhood starts as soon as and then now it's time to prepare, and this is what the dad app will help you do.
No, hey, that's amazing. So be on the lookout for that. Doingitallday.com.
Doingitallday.com.
Make sure you check that out. And of course, if you have any marketing situations that you're experiencing, you need some advice, you're thinking about any ideas, where we're talking about marketing, software, or app development. We take care of all three of those. Let me know if you got any comments or questions just about marketing. Anything you want to brainstorm, please just place a comment below. In the meantime, have a great day, and I look forward to seeing you tomorrow for day number 13.